Hey guys, this is James from TeaDB. We are here at Garrett's Tea Lair once again, bringing you another episode. Today we will be drinking some tea, is that right?
That is right, yeah. So today we're going to be drinking a 2004 YQH Yangqing Hao Teji. It's probably the better tea I own, one of the better tea I own. I don't do as much collecting as you in terms of like that real semi-aged stuff, James, but this one is like one of my favorites, and I definitely have like 3 cakes of it, so I'm like really excited.
There you go. Well,
to have this on.
It's good to have a few cakes if it's one of your favorites. So
Right.
you own this and the Qijang, right?
That is correct, yes.
Yeah. And so this is the tea that you think is like a bit of a notch above the Qijang.
I would say so, yeah. So I would say it's probably it has definitely more longevity, and I get, well, we'll probably get into this a little later, but I get a little less kind of like bitter smokiness. I think it's a smoother, fruitier, darker fruit tea versus the Qijang.
Yeah. I find that this tea, I own both as well. I find that this tea is a bit more consistent than the Qijang.
Yeah.
Sometimes the Qijang can be a bit wild and variable in terms of where it is, which is part of the fun, but I think that's mainly negative in this sense.
Yeah. There might be a little less consistency there.
Yeah.
All right, so going in for the first steep, we had a rinse off camera.
Yep. And so we are using clay for this. What is this vessel? What do you normally use this clay vessel for?
So this is a I think it's a Yixing 75 milliliter pot that I use mostly for my kind of like darker Yiwu semi-aged Pu'erhs. That's like probably 60% of what I actually drink, so I get a lot of use out of this pot. It's like my little workhorse, little utility knife per se, in terms of like how much use I get out of it, and how much better the brewing is compared to some more of my more open devices like a 75 milliliter Gaiwan that I use a lot, and larger stuff like
Gotcha.
Shibo or stuff like that. So, getting into that.
And do you think it pours pretty fast for a pot, but
Yeah.
you think it probably helps keep a little more heat than like a Gaiwan, for instance?
Definitely, and I get stronger flavors. I personally don't like when I let my steeps go cold, especially when it's like a work day and I know I can only have like one tea that morning. I'm gonna be like, I want to get the best experience I can. So that's when I'd probably use this over my Gaiwan. It's a single hole, so it has that really quick like just steep that I can get out of it. So
Right.
yeah.
Cool. Well, cheers, guys.
Cheers. Ooh, pungent.
Really rich.
Yeah.
Just right off the bat. It's right at those stone fruits that you mentioned. Actually, I don't know how many times I've had your cake, but I feel like I've owned my cake for maybe another year before you bought yours, and I feel like this has more of like that YQH house storage still.
Yeah. Definitely kind of like a little bit of mushroominess, but you can still detect those fruits.
Yeah.
So it's not super aggressive, super dank, which I kind of enjoy.
Not very astringent or bitter or anything like that.
Right.
But nice sweetness and lingering, but we're still getting into just the meat of the tea, so let's see how this continues. As Garrett said, I have also found this to be a long steeper, and this has been one of my reliable, more expensive brews that I'll have. It's not a everyday drinker for me, mainly because of the cost, but I think it's a tea that I certainly enjoy quite a bit.
Yeah. All right. Cheers.
Cheers.
Another kind of flash steep here.
stronger. There's a lot less sweetness immediately. It's still quite rich off the initial.
Yeah, I would say the steep was actually a little softer. But yeah, still getting a lot of those rich flavors, a lot of... Man, I'm just going to go back to those dark fruits. Yeah, just like really good.
Maybe a bit of leatheriness in this as well.
Mm-hmm.
Sort of like that tougher wood, leathery.
Yeah, you want to take a smell filter in there?
I will.
All right.
Nice rich aroma as well. Smells similar to the taste, I would say. Certainly a darker Iwu. This is now 13 years stored. Young storage is in Tainan, which is the southern part of Taiwan, and I had a chance to look at it, and it's pretty much just tea piled up on top of each other. So pretty much as simple as it gets. The conditions there are quite a bit more humid than most places in the West, so definitely has a fair bit of that sort of aging under its belt, which I think most people would not call totally dry storage, but it's not like dank like you would get from like a Hong Kong traditional storage tea either.
Right. And Young, he doesn't do any sort of like temperature control in his like warehousey.
Not from what I saw.
Okay.
I visited right around April, May time, and it was like probably like 80 Fahrenheit, maybe hotter, and maybe 80 to 85 humidity as well.
Got it.
So it was hot and humid. Yeah. Cheers, guys.
I get a little more mushroominess on this steep. Went a little longer too, so I'm thinking the leaves are starting to really open up. Right.
It has a nice. This steep, I would say, is denser. It's stronger and stronger each steep.
Right.
It has really nice, lasting mouthfeel to it.
Mm-hmm.
You taste the tea, and then you continue to taste the tea.
Right.
Sort of feel a returning sweetness as well. So
nice.
All right.
Okay, fourth steep.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers. I get a little bit of mineraliness off of this one.
Yeah, I could get on board with that.
Yeah. But also maybe a little more chocolatey-ness as well to like throw some nesses around. Yeah.
But still, the tea is pretty like consistently bright, I would say. It's not like it's dark, but it's not that dark.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like something like the Dingji Shang is like very dark, but this is like it's aged, but it's not like dark.
Right.
Bit more sweetness in this one too. Sweetness comes pretty fast for this tea.
Yeah, and the leaves are definitely opening up now.
Yeah. Garrett, so what would you say are your favorite aspects of this tea?
I would say the longevity is probably up there for me in terms of just the kind of what I was saying earlier about the utility of the tea. If I want to have a nice single session for a day, this is usually the first tea I'll consider grabbing, just because of that longevity.
Right.
The other thing, probably the lasting sweetness I get. Just my mouth is full of all these flavors still, and it's been a minute or two since I've had my last steep. And I would say that's just like something that I don't get in every tea, and so it's special to me.
Yeah, we're sort of at the point where you take a break and then you just feel the sort of aftertaste, and you slowly reheat that kettle, and like there's just a ton of lingering flavor in the mouth, in the throat, a lot of sweetness that exists. How do you find the somatics of this tea, or how it affects your body?
I would say that probably most of the times I get very mellowed out, just a nice like warming energy down in my center. But I wouldn't say it's an overly, like, I don't feel completely drunk. I don't feel completely, like, caffeinated after a session with this. So it's a really nice, mellow, relaxing tea.
Nice. So, as I said, this tea, if I were very rich, might be a daily drinker, in the sense that it's a really nice tea. But the price tends to prohibit that. For my birthday, actually, I was trying to figure out what tea I wanted to drink, and I have a few other, I should say, more expensive, nicer options supposedly, and I was like thinking about those, and in the end I just decided to brew this, which is not cheap, but it's like not like I spent more than a few bucks for a session of it, so no complaints there. It's not necessarily the best tea I have in my stash, but maybe one of the better ones that I reach for the most often, just because I like it so much.
Got it. So it kind of like passes that frequency test that folks often have, right?
Yeah, sort of that speed test, how much you want to drink it. Like some teas you like a lot more in theory rather than drinking it. So stuff like Pu'erh would fall into that sort of category of like teas that, I'll have it, I'll enjoy it, but like I never actually want to reach for it and drink it. So this tea does well.
Yeah. Definitely.
Cool. Well, thank you guys for tuning in. Let us know what you'd like Garrett and I to cover, if we're going to film some more episodes, if there's something specifically that you think be well suited to. Feel free to use the comment sections below. I think we have a couple more sort of longer form podcast-like episodes planned.